We've dealt with anime content being removed from platforms before. Steam is still on its never-ending fight against visual novels, and while some of these cases are understandable, there's still a large number of games removed despite having nothing wrong with them. Since certain content is more acceptable in Japan than in the West, it's reasonable to approach localized releases with a bit of caution, but at times there's too much caution and no room for negotiation. This week started a new crusade against anime content as Amazon is removing some light novels and manga from their platform. Most notably is the No Game No Life series, which saw all of its light novel volumes delisted. On July 14th, publisher Yen Press confirmed the removal of the series by Amazon, but as it turns out, they aren't the first publisher affected by this. Publisher J Novel Club announced on July 13th that some of their titles, including How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, were removed as well. And they added that they were never notified by Amazon that this happened. They only found out after fans trying to buy these titles complained. After contacting Amazon, they told J Novel Club that the Kindle content review team removed the titles but couldn't say exactly why. At the time that I reported about this incident on Jotaku, I only had these announcement tweets to go off of, but in the days that followed, Crunchyroll and Otaku USA got in contact with the publishing companies and clarified more info about the situation. This is where the story becomes frustrating and why I'm here now with the video. The publishing and managing director of Yen Press, Kurt Hassler, said that after contacting Amazon for clarification, they were told a determination had been made that the books did not fall within their global content guidelines. There are 4 types of content against their guidelines: illegal or infringing content, public domain and other non-exclusive content, poor customer experience, and other prohibited content. Obviously, the only possible category these titles could fit into is in prohibited content, so let's read about that section. As a bookseller, we provide our customers with access to a variety of viewpoints, including books that some customers may find objectionable. That said, we reserve the right not to sell certain content, such as pornography or other inappropriate material. So what constitutes inappropriate material to them? I mean, anime content is definitely no saint. Lots of stories about high schoolers going through puberty, characters discovering sexuality, tones of incest, and general perversion, not to mention the increasing levels of fan service, all of which is creepily multiplied by the animation medium, which typically attracts younger audiences. So it's natural for people to look at anime and its related content and just label it all as inappropriate, which is why most places have more detailed definitions of what they consider inappropriate within their guidelines. But not Amazon, I guess. It's entirely up to the Kindle content review team to decide, which is annoying, but I guess still fair. I mean, it is their platform. They are the content review team. If they see something they don't like it, they should be allowed to deem it inappropriate, until you realize these newly removed light novels have been out for years with no problems until now. One of the titles removed from J Novel Club was one of the very first ebooks they published over 3.5 years ago, so why the sudden change of heart? J Novel Club president and founder Samuel Pinansky offered more details on their situation and an interesting theory about what's happening. In their attempts to talk with Amazon, J Novel Club was in what I like to call customer service hell. This is when you have a problem that absolutely needs a human to look into the issue, but these big tech companies have automated their systems to the point of never doing that. J Novel Club would report the issue and receive a template response about how the titles violated content guidelines, but no info about exactly how. At first, the process would look promising as they would manage to have Amazon escalate their issue to supervisors and support team leaders, but as it turned out, quote, no one at Amazon Kindle support even has the capability of talking directly to anyone at Kindle Content Review, which operates as a black box even within Amazon itself. Let that sink in for a second. Amazon Kindle support has no way to talk directly with anyone at Kindle Content Review. That's just astounding to me. But the sheer incompetence of that aside, the natural next step is to try and contact Kindle Content Review yourself, which apparently you can do, but Amazon Kindle support can't because all attempts to contact them are fully automated, with phone support unable to help and email inquiries that take weeks to send generic template responses until tickets are automatically closed. The main response they usually received would say, as stated in our guidelines, we reserve the right to determine what we consider to be inappropriate, which includes cover images and content within the book. We're unable to elaborate further on specifics detailing our content guidelines beyond what is available here, and then it's just a link to the vague guidelines I told you about before. Each time they reach this point, J Novel Club has to start the entire process all over again, a whole multi-week support process that has no one looking at these tickets. As J Novel Club president theorizes, this automation may very well also be the reason why these titles are suddenly being banned. With everything affected by COVID-19, it's no surprise that customer support roles might be incredibly busy, especially at Amazon. Amazon. So their solution, as all big tech solutions are, is to just automate. Now, automating support tickets is one thing. It's annoying, but the goal is to try and resolve a lot of common issues quickly so they can focus on the more important problems. What absolutely shouldn't ever happen, though, is automated content reviews, because that seems to be what's happening here. They seem to have implemented an automated system where, after a certain amount of user reports, an automated content system suddenly checks the content, which hasn't been changed in years, and suddenly deems it against guidelines. While this hasn't been confirmed by Amazon, this theory makes the most sense to me, as a lot of the choices for this feel very arbitrary. There's exactly one No Game No Life title still available in English on Amazon, and that's Volume 2 of the manga. If the actual Kindle content review team deemed most of the series against their guidelines, they would have also removed this one, right? Yet somehow that's the only title in the whole series safe right now. And it's been noted that the Interspecies Reviewers manga hasn't been affected at all by any of this. The anime version of that series was so controversial for just being flat out porn that Funimation cancelled its entire dub and distribution of the series. So what exactly is the deciding factor for judgment by Kindle content review? As far as I can tell, it just looks like we have automation systems going crazy, and because of how big tech companies set up these systems, there's nothing we can do about this. No one we can talk to that can fix this or give more details. There's just nothing. This is something I've been suffering for the past few months on Twitter. I run a lot of different accounts for various game projects and groups I'm affiliated with, and that's not against Twitter's rules. You're allowed to have as many accounts as you want, but at some point I was locked out of all of the accounts I was currently logged into automatically, and I had to unlock them with my phone number. This happens from time to time, but sometimes Twitter won't let you use the same phone number anymore. Even if you remove the phone number from the account you did unlock, their system still won't let you use the number. This is an error on their end, and this has also happened to me before in the past, so I opened up a support ticket, explained the situation. In the past, I'd have a human look at my ticket and they'd resolve the issue, because that's all it takes. Literally one human looking at a ticket once and a problem can be fully resolved. But now, there's no one looking at these tickets, as these systems are mostly automated now for general issues. So when I opened my recent ticket, I got a template response resetting the password on an account that wasn't affected. So I responded explaining the situation again. I waited weeks with no response, only to find out that every account I didn't unlock had been automatically suspended. The reason for the suspension? Their automated systems think that if you can't unlock your account, then you're trying to hack someone else's account. Oh, and guess what? Now that the tickets for those fixes have to be suspension appeals, Twitter doesn't care at all about what you have to say. In the eyes of Twitter, everyone suspended is guilty, and there's nothing you can do about it, because they have even less humans looking at these tickets and don't even bother to have automated tickets respond to them most of the time. And that's why we're here today, because in the eyes of Kindle content review now, anything anime related isn't safe. The nature of acceptable Japanese content is understandable to the Western man, but the Western automation system is eager to throw it all in the trash. It's hopeful to think all this automation will scale back when COVID-19 starts to die down, but knowing these big tech companies, it'll probably get worse. For some ungodly reason, they love fully automating jobs that absolutely can't and shouldn't be fully automated. And there's no one we can complain to about that because it's all automated. COVID-19 caused a lot of people to lose their jobs, and these companies could actively hire a lot more customer support people remotely, but why would they do that when they could just automate it all and pay less people? It's not like customer support and content review teams are important, right? Why would helping customers and publishers be important? Just watch, this is only the beginning of the anime apocalypse on Amazon. Things are gonna get a lot worse. Either it's automated forever and we're all screwed, or it's not, and that means all anime content, including actual anime shows, are going to be deemed inappropriate and removed. Everyone now will have to move to Bookwalker for light novels and manga, which isn't a sponsor for today's video, but god, I wish it was. By the way, all the titles affected by Amazon are still on platforms like Bookwalker. If you bought digital books on Amazon before they were removed, you could still re-download them for the time being, but J Novel Club recommends backing up their titles in some way if your region allows it. Anyways, that's all for this video, and to wrap this up, I feel it's appropriate to end it with a manga recommendation. Recently I got into the series Inside Mary by Shuzo Oshimi, author of my favorite manga of all time, The Flowers of Evil. I'm a fan of Oshimi's work, so when I saw Inside Mary listed on publisher Denpa's website, I had to check it out, and before I knew it, I had bought and read all 6 available English volumes in a day. The story is a psychological drama where a hermit loser wakes up one day inside the body of Mary, the beautiful carefree high school girl he used to see at a convenience store late at night. He never spoke with her before and knows nothing about her. Now literally thrust into her shoes, he has to try and maintain her existing relationships while trying to figure out what exactly happened to Mary and how he can go back to his own body. In Inside, Mary takes a lot of dark turns and can be pretty graphic at times, but that's the nature of Shuzo Oshimi. And guess what? You can actually buy the series on Amazon still, for now at least. Though buying it digitally from Denpa's website lets you actually download the volume PDF files. Links to those will be in the description below. Thanks everyone for watching, and if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe for future videos, and hey, maybe support me on Patreon for $1. I'd appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll talk to you later.